Hello, Matodi.
Hi.
Welcome back. How are you feeling? Feeling good?
Yeah, I'm feeling fine. How are you?
I'm doing okay. It's been a nice week. And welcome, everyone, to Game to Movie, where we discuss ways to turn some of our favourite computer games, and some not so favourite computer games, into good movies.
Yep.
Maybe we should mute that. That was too loud. As you can see, as we're talking, some footage is playing for you. This is my session on Subnautica. This is Below Zero.
The second one.
This is the second one in the series.
And this is the very beginning of the game.
Yeah, exactly. So you can watch me fumble around with the beginning of the game. And as you can probably guess, we're actually doing Subnautica and Subnautica Below Zero as we try to turn this game series into a film series that will be very popular and nothing like the bad computer game films of recent times, like Max Payne, for example, or some Resident Evil films.
Yep.
I'll say that much.
Most.
Unfortunately, Matodi, no one has got in contact yet to make our proposed Minecraft film that we did last week into a movie.
That's a shame.
But we just have to be patient, wait our turn.
Yeah.
But please like and subscribe and comment more on that video and this video a bit later. So today, me and Matodi are playing and talking about Subnautica, both games. Matodi, what do you like about this series of games?
I just love how you're sort of dropped into this world and you have to explore. Basically, it's a survival game. Exploration, crafting, and all that.
But it's not on Earth, is it?
No, it's a planet.
It's very
in the galaxy.
Very strangely named planet. I think it's like 4556, something like that. B. So yeah, it's an alien planet. Oh, as you can tell, this isn't like a mutated Earth or anything. Below Zero, the footage you're watching now is slightly different to the original, in that there's the added element of trying to stay warm when you're on the surface.
Yeah.
And a slightly different storyline that continues. It's separate, but it does continue from the previous game a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about this and the first game, because I think it's good just to set people who've never played this game before, but might want to play it after we finished. Because I played it for just 15 minutes, and now I need to go and get it and play it to completion.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So as you can see, both games kind of start the same way. You jump into a mostly water-like environment. You have to find somewhere safely to stay, to base your operations, and then you sort of go out and craft. Both games are open-world survival games. That's what they're called. That's what they're designated as. Developed and published by Unknown Worlds Entertainment. So far, Matodi, over 5 million copies of the game have been sold.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
It's available on most consoles and PC variants. But on the consoles, it's published by someone called Gearbox. First released in 2018. The game is actually inspired by Minecraft. We talked about earlier, which is not so much a challenge and progression orientated game. It's about exploration. It's about crafting. It's about creativity. And therefore, maybe that should be one of the central themes to any film about the exploration and creativity. And it's actually got some inspiration from James Cameron, because he's done a lot of underwater films. He likes diving himself, actually. I think sometimes he makes a film just so he can go diving.
Yes.
Just an excuse to go do things. That's what James... So maybe, I think it's worth saying, James Cameron should direct this film. And maybe... Because then James... I don't personally know, sorry, Mr. Cameron, I should say. If you like getting into diving bells and exploring the ocean to get research for your films, then this is the perfect film.
Yes.
As an excuse to do that, I think. A strange trivia fact, though. It's not strange trivia fact, but this is actually a game. It's the motivation for the developer called Charlie Cleland. He was motivated to make this game after the tragic Sandy Hook shooting. He decided he wanted to make games that were less violent, more non-violent and creative.
Yeah, there's certainly an element of non-violence here.
Yeah, probably not from... as far as I can tell, the character is non-violent, but the world around him could be potentially brutal. But So it's interesting that this game has that motivation behind it.
Yeah.
So a quick rundown of the plot.
Well, Sam,
Charlie, I'll let you do the plot of this Below Zero. Let me just give the plot to the first game quickly. If I understand it correctly, a spaceship is on its way to this planet. First, it's trying to build some sort of, I don't know, hyperspace bypass kind of thing. And then it approaches this planet because it has a secondary mission to check out another ship that disappeared 10 years previously. Some sort of weapon it seems like some sort of pulse or weapon shoots that ship down, and the only survivor is the main character who you control. He spends pretty much the whole time doing exactly what you're doing, except he gets radiation damage, I think, from his crashed ship. He also, I think, catches a disease called Kahara. That's because it turned out this entire planet was like some sort of testing facility for an ancient race called Precursors, who were infected with Kahara. They were looking for a cure, and they found the cure in a gigantic species of fish that dominates this ocean. But they couldn't really get it to work, and they had to abandon the planet. And it turns out that you can't escape the planet because this giant weapon was put there as a quarantine measure. You can't leave just in case you're infected with the virus. So the player must also try and cure themselves by, in a sense, working with the gigantic species of fish that you telepathically link to at some point in the game.
Yeah.
And eventually he gets cured of the virus. He can shut down the quarantine weapon that prevents him from leaving, and then off he goes, and he's got off the planet. After having a nice moment with this giant Leviathan-like fish. I think it's called a Sea Emperor. And there's also a Sea Dragon. These are one of the more dangerous ones. And that's basically how the plot of the first book ends. Can you tell me what the plot of this particular one is, having played it all the way through?
So you are a girl, and you're looking for your sister, who works for this giant corporation called the Altera.
Mm-hmm.
Altera Corporation. They are basically doing some research on the planet,
Cool.
and this the sister of the main character has her own mission, which is sort of separate from the official mission that she's there for.
Right, she snuck in.
Yes.
Okay.
And her mission is, I don't know how much I can spoil
Spoil it all.
from
It's
the
fine.
game. Okay.
Spoiler alert.
Yes.
I should have said that probably 5 minutes ago, but spoiler alert for this game at least.
So her sort of mission is officially to do some research, and unofficially to she finds a creature, a huge creature, which she wants to cure. Yeah. And she disappears, and that's why our main character is here on this planet, just to find her sister, basically.
Are there any other characters in this game? In the first game, there's no real other characters.
You don't meet anyone in person, apart from at the very end
At the
of
very
the game.
end.
Yeah.
Let's not spoil that, but there is a character at the very end.
There is someone, yes.
There's the PDA. If you watch this footage, you'll see occasionally my PDA
Yeah.
tells me to not die by getting oxygen a lot.
Yeah, and occasionally you find voice recordings and other sort of PDA data that's sort of scattered throughout the world.
Cool.
And that would sort of reveal slowly some of the story.
Interesting.
Yeah, and you get all these eventually as you progress through the game. You get all these technologies that I have installed on my.
We'll get to that footage a little bit later.
A little bit later, yeah.
As we talk. This is just me watching me do this right now.
Yeah.
Um,
And my footage is more towards the very end of the game, and again, it doesn't spoil any of the story. It just shows you a lot more of the biomes, a lot more of the creatures, a lot more of the mechanics.
Presumably you go to deeper water and it gets bigger and bigger.
Yeah, kind of.
Could
Yeah.
how big is the sort of gameplay area, would you say? Like, what other games? Like, is it like as big as the Skyrim maps, that kind of thing, or bigger maybe?
Probably not as big as Skyrim, but the only thing is, there's no map that you can access. There is one it's sort of stationary that you have access to.
Is it that diving bell, or is it something else?
But there's no you don't know where you are. You don't know anything. And it's sort of the different biomes are just you have to use different there are different ways to sort of pinpoint where you are.
I noticed the compass in the
the
inventory.
compass. Yeah.
Can you make a map, or not really?
No, there's no map.
Can you leave yourself like waypoints then?
Yeah. So there are ways to. So you have to use a lot of them to sort of map out, as it were.
It's definitely a very beautiful looking game, especially on PC.
Yeah.
Look at this Red Sky, for example. It's they thought a lot about how to. You're going to watch me struggle to get onto an iceberg now, so this is embarrassing. But either way, the game has, like you said, it's preferable to play on PC over console.
Yeah,
because
it's
the
really
graphics
beautiful.
are just better. So this looks like some sort of a shark sort of cage. So which made me nervous when I saw it. But I didn't get attacked, so that's good. Okay, well let's let my player wander for a little bit more, and I think it's time. Let's start talking about how do we turn this game into a really good movie. And we should probably avoid like there's plenty of deep sea kind of movies out there.
Yeah.
Like there's The Abyss and there's the Sphere, one of my favourite bad movies. But it's like those films are all about like how dark and almost evil and how treacherous the undersea is. But that's not completely what this game is about. I wouldn't have said.
So there's the exploration element and there's the survival element, and these are the main two sort of themes.
I died. Oh well.
Yeah, and I think the exploration element maybe more like Tomb Raider / Minecraft / I don't know. I think maybe if you have a clear goal in the film.
Okay. We should stay. That's a good idea. And we should stay close to the source material when it comes to that.
Yeah.
I did think that any film based on this game, it's the cinematography that's going to be like that has to be a sort of beautiful part of it. That the film should take time to show the beauty and not just CGI. Just a huge amount of CGI. They should try and do it in a way that feels very real. Just because there is intense sort of beauty in this game. Well then, let's start at the beginning. As you saw from the footage, Below Zero starts with Robin, the main character, crashing on. She's on her way to the planet proper. She gets hit by a meteorite and she crashes. Yeah. So, but the first one, if I recall correctly, the ship, everything's going normal, and then the ship gets shot out of space. Everyone goes for the escape pods, and the main character sort of jettisons, and we actually see the spaceship crash into the ocean. This gigantic sort of star cruiser, and it's like floating or embedded half in the ocean, half not in the ocean.
Yeah.
So that's a good scene to start on, isn't it? Like the credits roll, fade to black, and then out of the darkness we hear like screams and shouts. We've been hit by something. Yeah. We're going down. The main drive's off.
But it has to be one person, right?
Only one character.
Authentic to the world.
Yep. Okay.
Mostly.
So one character. We're following one character.
Yes.
Kind of like what's it called? What's that film with Matt Damon trying to trapped on Mars? What's that called? How could I forget? It's one of my favourite. I can't think of the name. It will appear now on the screen when I
Mars.
did my research. Something Mars, I think. But Matt Damon's trapped, and he's basically alone on Mars the whole time trying to survive, and that's what I got that kind of vibes from this game.
Yeah, kind of.
Can't believe I forgot it. There we go.
Like in a sort of environment that's not familiar to the character, and that he's sort of kind of half in awe of the world.
Yep.
That's so different and so exciting, and treacherous, and
it can be a very scientifically minded one as well, in that he uses a lot of knowledge to form what he needs to survive.
Yeah.
There's obviously some sci-fi tech which makes things easier. Like in a minute, I think you're going to watch me craft a scanner, and so resources, things like that. And this machine just fabricates it. But maybe in the film, he could put together things differently in order to make what he needs. Just to show that sort of, like the Matt Damon film, which I don't remember the name for randomly, because it's the whole film. Like at the beginning, you get the sense there's more people, but then they're done away with as the ship crashes and all the escape pods cause people to die and malfunction. And then we just, with the whole film, this one guy trying to survive. It's about his loneliness. Then, do you think?
Maybe, yeah, but there's this sense of wonder, sense of just need to survive. He has no other choice.
I think that what you're saying about that sort of wonder is juxtaposed quite nicely against an intense survival situation. That it's like The Martian. Thank you. It finally came to my head with no prompting. That if Matodi says that he was on the side with his phone telling me what this film was, that's a lie. It just came to me just now. So yeah, I've got The Martian. That's the film I was trying to remember. So I think that if throughout the film he gets into increasing, or Robin, so he or she, depending on how you do it, is it's survival situation after survival situation after survival situation. Yeah. And each one is also used to frame the wonder and the glory of the planet in it. If you look at the bottom left-hand screen now, you've got your oxygen. So that's one survival thing, finding oxygen or keeping it.
Yeah.
Like maybe he gets his foot trapped in a rock, and then we've got a countdown to oxygen situation. He has to get out. That's a classic scene. You've also got heart, which I assume is just normal health being attacked. Food is the apple.
Yeah.
You need to drink water.
Yeah.
And in this game, I don't think the first game is a temperature gauge where...
There's a temperature, yeah, another one.
You can obviously freeze to death.
Exactly, yeah, you can.
So we've got, right there, the game actually gives us 5 unique survival scenarios that the main character should face throughout the film.
Yep, definitely.
Their goal was to get off the film. Get off the planet, ultimately, correct?
Well, in the game, you actually want to be on the planet, but again, the main there is a point in the game where the main story sort of splits into 2 ways. So one way is to complete the mission that your sister was here to do. Mm-hmm. And the other way is to help an alien, basically.
Okay.
To do what he needs to do.
Interesting. So that's another character, isn't it, as well?
Yeah. So.
I think we're making 2 films then. We're sort of like doing the first one and then the transition to the second one as well. But both, I think, have the same feel to them. From what I can tell. By the way, we're going to transition into the Toadies footage now. So
let me just play that.
Okay, so now you can watch a proper person play this game who's had hours of experience.
Yeah, so this is my my recording of the it's towards the end of the game, almost at the very end.
Oh, that's cute, that penguin thing falling over. Yeah. We should get that into the game and film somehow.
Yeah.
Maybe a pet.
There's you can craft one that's remote controlled in the game.
I like that already. We've got a robot then in the game.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And yeah, I'm not spoiling anything. This is just a video of
Is this a base that you've built,
towards
or is
the
this
no you
looks like an ancient facility?
towards yeah.
Cool. Well, this is what you got to look forward to if you can make it towards the end of the game.
Yeah.
But as Tony said, no spoilers. But you can watch him in this do more with so this is actually what the film should portray. Over the course of the film, things should get better
Yeah.
in a sense because they're building more stuff. You've got more facilities. Like unlike say in The Martian, where Mark Watney in that film has to sort of he has to make do, and over the course of the film, things kind of go a bit down, like a bit more rustic, a bit more sort of prefabricated and like cobbled together. It looks like in this film things really get good for you. You get to build some really good stuff.
Yeah, so this is the prong suit that you have that you can upgrade as well with different depth modules and
That's good.
different arms that you can have. So here you can see me shoot a rocket. This
Cool.
is a type of
whoa! What is that doing? It's like
it's
like
a type
black
of
hole sort of rocket.
Yeah, exactly. It's a type of rocket, and on the other hand, I have like a grappling arm.
Nice.
Which helps me sort of traverse the underwater environment. Basically, that's one of the things that you can create that will help you. It has inventory as well at the back. And yeah, that's so useful. These things.
It's quicker,
and they're very very quick. Yeah, they can be even quicker than your normal.
Obviously, oxygen is not a problem. Temperature is not a problem.
Yeah, when you're in the prong suit.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
There are very different biomes in the game. They look very different. They have different fauna and flora.
That's what the film's got to show.
Yeah, very different creatures as well. Again, these are the one I was looking at. Initially, there were things that come next to you and they steal your equipment.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah, and they take you to the nest. Then eventually you become friends and
interesting. Potential baddies, potential friend.
Yeah, and they bring you stuff as well.
So that's good. This film's going to have at least some scenes where first the players, the main character of the film, will not be getting on with some of the things around him, but eventually,
slowly.
How do you make friends with them in the game? How does that happen?
Well, eventually, the more time you spend with them, basically, and you craft and you. Eventually, they just become.
They get used to you.
Yeah, they just get used to it.
There's no exciting scene then that like you rescue one, then they start to realise you're the good guy.
So you can kind of not really, but kind of. You have there's different eggs that you find from different creatures that you see. This is the base that I've created.
Yeah, that's great. And so you raise the eggs.
Yeah, so you have you can make like an indoor aquarium that you can place the eggs in and they hatch.
And that's how they befriend. That's how you befriend.
Yeah, you can.
I like that.
I have a snowman. Yeah, this is my snowman.
I was about to ask how the snowman survives in the salt water, but
don't question it.
Yeah, okay,
It's fine.
And you've got a garden.
Yeah, I have all
It's really like Minecraft, and I love this.
This is all the well, not all of them, but some of the things that you'll need for crafting. And you do need a lot of them.
I do like what you say about, like, you become friends with some of these fish because you raise them. And that'd be an excellent sort of subplot in the film where, as the main character spends time, he learns and learns and learns and gets more familiar with everything. I guess the game can't portray it.
This is my sea truck. My sea truck is up there.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It looks really cool.
Yeah, don't worry. This is where I'm going to go in and show you the aquarium, indoor aquarium.
Okay. I did some research on this game beforehand. That was my first time playing it, but I did do some research.
These are my pals.
This is the best aquarium I've seen in a long time. My research showed out that there's a company. Is it Altera?
Altera.
Are they a classic computer game, like dodgy capitalist corporation?
Kind of, yeah.
Good, because then they're potential sort of bad guys in the sort of
See, this is
waiting in the wings.
why I scanned the sea monkey.
Yeah, this is what I tried to do earlier, but they kept swimming away. I should have put them in an aquarium. So they're a bad company. Now, in my research, they want the virus, don't they? This virus thing that's part of the game, because they want to explore, they want to experiment with it and do something with it, right?
Basically, it's a bad corporation.
Cool. I always hate and love bad corporations in these games. But I was thinking, if they're trying to use this virus for, like, they're obviously trying to make money. You've got a nice desk here and a nice cat as well. Cat picture.
Yeah.
If the company's trying to use this virus for bad things, they're kind of like the Weyland Yutani Corporation in Alien. They want to try and grab the xenomorph because they want to make money out of it by selling it as a weapon. Stupid idea, of course. And then you've got something like the Umbrella Corporation in Resident Evil, who think that weaponizing a virus that turns everyone into a mutated monster is somehow good business. And that's always something that's been a flaw with games, computer games that use evil corporations to do things.
Yeah.
It's because these corporations are always like thick. It's stupid. They shouldn't be. Why on earth are they trying to weaponize something that's so obviously dangerous and will never work? So we might think the same thing again about this corporation. They want to use a virus that they think they can make money out of. Stupid. Very stupid. How can a virus ever do that? Which is why I think for our film, this film, based in the Subnautica, the virus should be dangerous, but it should actually be able to do something really good and really positive. It should be able to do that. Like, it should be really valuable, unlike the xenomorph and unlike the T-virus. It should actually be useful and clearly useful from the beginning. But the danger is that it's one, if you mess with it too much, it's still a deadly virus. It should like do something extraordinary, like, I don't know, prolong human life for 1,000 years or cure every single disease. That should be clear that the company will make a profit if they can make it work. But they never. But it's like it's just too dangerous to try, and that should be and that'd make it more realistic. That kind of film more realistic.
Yeah, this is what you're looking at. Is all the blueprints in the game. Oh, well, not all of them, but most of them, I think.
Executive toy. I'm so glad that
toilet,
that's
small
cool.
stove,
small stove. Nuclear waste disposal. There's nuclear waste in this game.
Oh yeah.
Toilet. Very obviously, definitely need that. Desk. Sam's bed. Jeremiah's bed. Oh, why are there all these different beds?
They're all, the some of the characters that you sort of come across, but you don't actually interact with them.
Their voice recording, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You come across their sort of
I think
habitats and sort of habitation.
That's cool. Do you think then that, like, the film could, like, well, let's say that the main character in the film picks up this recording, starts listening to it, we'd hear the voice first, and then it would fade into the person living out what they're describing.
Yeah.
And therefore we actually get different actors in the scene that way.
Yeah.
But they're not. And in a way, it's almost like the film is suggesting he's imagining them.
Yeah.
In order to reduce their loneliness, Robin's loneliness, and I think it's James in the first film. Yeah. So let's run. We've got 2 hours in a film, roughly. So
the first hour basically needs to be more about exploration. Actually, more about survival, and then sort of crafting different things to get to places where you are not able to get to initially. So in the game, you can't go down very far until you craft a better oxygen tank or a better swimsuit, and there are things that help you that you can build. Like the snow fox, for example. The snow fox is like a hover bike.
Ooh.
Yeah, but it's just only above ground.
Okay. Still
on the island.
So first scene, ship crashing, or in this case below zero, Robin getting waylaid off her course, crash lands and starts off. First hour, as you say, should all be about, and a good film would do this not by like constantly telling the character constantly telling us what's going on. It should be like almost like almost like an hour where the character kind of doesn't talk at all, or occasionally talks to himself, he or she talks to himself, and it's done by exposition, by just watching repetitive craft, so it gets ingrained in the viewer's head about, oh, okay, so he's doing that again in order to build that. And we see something build, like the hover bike that we just saw. The what was that thing again? That purple craft that were swimming underwater in.
Oh, the prong shoot.
Prong shoot. You got like the first hour should be a clear sort of understanding of the scope of the world, how he or she uses it to make their life better, like building this thing, for example. This is amazing. And then, so that's a good hour, and I think that'd be very cinematic. You'd get a really good score, like atmospheric.
Yeah.
And then we've got to start introducing danger, I think.
Yeah. Well, the deeper you go, the more dangerous the world becomes. Yeah, the bigger. You have a jukebox as well. Yeah.
Okay. Oh well, then that also is a way for the film to introduce some really good music into the score as well. Yeah. That's good. So, around about like the midpoint, the first hour.
Yeah.
That's when it should become clear to the audience what this guy, like Robin and the first guy's goal should be, and that should be to get off the planet. Essentially, Robin's got to get off eventually, but she's got to get off with knowledge of what happened to her sister.
Yeah.
As you pointed out, and the other character has to just get off the planet. In the game, there's something that stops people from leaving the planet because of the virus that's put there by these precursor
The first one, yes, the first one.
So I think that's something that should be in the film, that becomes clear that it's keeping them there.
So in the second one, you don't really have a way to escape the planet per se, because you don't really want to leave. You want to finish. You get to a point where basically you find out what's happened to your sister, and then you decide to either finish her work, and there's a huge animal that you can cure.
Cool.
Of their disease, or alternatively, to cure the animal and then escape with an alien.
Okay, so
halfway
into the film,
yeah,
maybe that's when the revelation comes that she finds everything about her sister that she wanted to find.
Yeah,
and that's when she makes the choice to complete the work. I think that's a noble thing for a character to do. It's like it's a nice conundrum. Like, she spent all this time surviving, thinking about getting off, as well as fighting her sister, and almost thinking that as soon as she found her sister, it's time to go. But now she does what her sister came to do.
Yeah.
That's a nice little bit that's the question that the character. That's the arc for the character, in a way. Since we're focusing on Robin, the other character is Riley. I forgot to say, not James, as I thought. So, in a way, Robin's come here in a desperation to find her sister. She wants to rescue her, get her out of this planet, out of this situation. And perhaps she's bitter and angry as she's trying to survive. Maybe some of her inner dialogue can be about cursing her sister for making her come here and not telling her what happened and not leaving any clues. And then she discovers what her sister was trying to do all this time, which was to cure this animal that she considers valuable to the ecosystem. Maybe the creature is the cure to the virus after. I think that was in the first game.
This is the sea glide, the sea truck. Yeah, this is where I break one of the modules. That one, bam.
Oh, why did you do that? It's beautiful.
No. Well, basically, you can on that module that I blew up there. Yeah. You can attach the prong chute to, so it can be attached to the sea truck.
Okay.
Yeah, and just basically take your
Like a trawler, like a truck.
take your
The
base.
sea truck.
Cool.
Cool.
Yeah, the sea truck. And here,
So
then you can attach.
that's cool.
I'm showing how you can attach the sea truck to the modules. These are basically different modules, like the sleeper module.
Take your base, a caravan.
Yeah.
Okay. So so let's say that Robin finds and she continues to work, and then she cures this creature, and
Yeah.
that's a good arc. It's like she goes from sort of desperate, maybe like a big sister. She wants why have I had to come out here and do all this just for this? But then she finds an ability of her sister's work, maybe, and finally an understanding of who her sister was that she maybe didn't realize. And her completion of the work gives her some closure as well, because I assume she doesn't find her sister. Her sister's dead in this.
Yes.
That's a shame. Spoiler alert. But that's what happens.
Yeah.
And then once she's completed her sister's work, she realizes it's time to go.
Yeah, it's actually it's time to go because you find an alien, and that alien, you help the alien with something, and then you use a teleporter to go to their planet.
Is it the alien? The alien has the teleporter.
Yes.
Okay.
So basically, that's you go to at the very end. You teleport to their planet.
How do you feel about this then? How about throughout the film? The alien, she's aware of the alien. The alien's there in the background, okay? But they stay away from each other. They can't communicate. They don't have a good relationship. Maybe they were trying to, not share, but compete with some resources. But over the course of the film, she's forced to help the alien, or they have to fight something like a sea creature together. And over time, they've become friends. And then once she's given closure to her sister's memory, that's when she finally bonds, and both Alien and her have to do their escape plan off the planet, teleport. Maybe she should teleport to Earth, and the alien can teleport to his planet. Is it his or her? It doesn't matter. Or maybe they both go to his planet. But it's clear that she gets free and is able to get home, something like that. But it does mean that we need some sort of enemy for, to be there, the thing that keeps them away.
I think ultimately the biggest enemy is the world.
Interesting.
Yeah, as you can see at the very end of my footage, the enemy is the world.
Oh, cool. Well, we'll see that one. We'll save that for the bit when we get to the end.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. So this is still an interesting film if there's no enemy. Like, that's kind of refreshing. Everyone always, in a sense, you might be expecting the corporation to be the enemy, or that weapons array that's supposed to keep people on the planet because of the virus kind of thing, but maybe not.
Yeah.
I was thinking that weapons platform could be like that AI in Resident Evil that works to keep them in. That's been done, so we can't do that actually. So yeah, the world is the enemy.
You are all going to die down here.
Well, we can't.
We can't
Plagiarism, I think.
We can't use it.
No. Well, we can use the line because it's been used 100 times in many films. So it's you're all going to die down. But yeah, the world is the thing. It's actually quite refreshing because that's what survival is about. It's not like if you're surviving in not winter wonderland. That's what I'm saying. A wintry scene, like a mountain that's really harsh. Some films will throw a wolf in to be the main enemy that they have to defeat. Or if you're in a desert, it's going to be like some sort of lion or tiger that chases you. It's going to be something that has to be the enemy. But I think it's right that the enemy can just be the world at large, both wonderful as we're seeing here, as we go deeper, but also wild and deadly because it's an alien planet that no one's really settled on.
Yeah. I mean, in a minute you'll see the dangerous creatures that.
I do like the idea of the film. Sort of, whoa, okay, that's ugly. And you're taking care of it with your black hole gun, it seems. So I could really go for the film sort of ending where both Alien and Robin and Alien sort of shake hands, step onto the teleporter, and they both go their separate ways, with the main character reflecting on how she almost buried her sister in a metaphorical way by completing her work. And
yes.
presumably the creature she heals is it's not a dead, like incredibly deadly one. It's just like massive and glorious, and it's wonderful to behold this in this massive creature that does that.
So,
I like it.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different biomes here, and they're all different, and they all have their various.
I was just thinking how great this game was. I just noticed just then that the character had two shadows because there were two light sources on her own. So that's brilliant. That's excellent forward thinking by the programmers of this game as well. That's the attention to detail that the film definitely needs. Unlike some films that are based on games, are just done like really quickly and on the fly and without very little attention to detail. But this one is, if the film has to have as much attention to detail as this game has, because it's incredible. They must have done a ton of research in sort of deep sea diving and fish.
Yeah.
Some of these fish are crazy, but I can totally believe it. I've watched David Attenborough and BBC nature documentaries. Fish are weird wherever you go.
Yeah. I think the movie also has to be adventurous. There's so much exploration in the game, and it's such a big part of what the game is.
It needs to fit in as much as possible.
Yeah.
But also not to make it almost montagey. I don't want a montage of various biomes. I want almost like, as the film progresses, it progresses through biomes in some sense.
Yeah.
I'm glad that the trailer can sort of be taken away, because then that means that, in a sense, the base can be taken with her. So as she goes to different biomes,
the sea truck, yeah,
she takes stuff with her. So we get the incredible stuff that she builds stays and gets improved and gets better as they travel through the biomes. So rather than you don't get like 5 minutes worth of like just zooming through different biomes. It's all just sort of spend time in it is what the film should do. Before we finish, because we are coming to the end of our footage, we should talk about quickly what should a film not do. Because films make mistakes when they try to do this. There's too much exposition, there's focusing too much on wrong story elements.
Yeah, too much CGI, I think.
So if possible, either... I know this... Obviously, you think this looks like no ocean in the world, but in some sense, the CGI should be kind of restrained as much as possible. Or so good. Like, spend real good money on the CGI so that it's so real that no one can tell the difference. Because you've seen Aquaman.
Aquaman, yeah.
So Aquaman has a lot of excellent, glorious undersea shots, but you can tell that it's sort of like
fake.
There's a fakeness to it for obvious reasons that Atlantis doesn't exist. Well, we presume. I'm sorry if there's any Atlanteans watching. Your secret is safe, because I don't believe that Atlantis exists. But it's there's a sort of Atlantis is so overblown, it's so OTT that it's all fake, and there's an octopus playing drums, for example. In a sense, there should be a restraint with the CGI so that it doesn't look overpowering. And in accordance with what you were saying earlier, there should obviously be as few as characters as possible. We should stick with the main character the entire time.
Yeah.
There's no need to go away to some moustache-twirling sort of villain wondering how he can stop Robin doing something. It should be that the only other people are these recordings that you mentioned. Yeah,
that you come across throughout the world.
And this alien character, who perhaps shouldn't be heard, like they shouldn't talk, but we should get stuff from just basic interactions, like
he does actually talk.
Or maybe he can then. But in a sense, stick with Robin.
Yeah, but they're just so advanced that their view of humanity in the world is just so different.
Interesting.
And so long lived.
Just trying to think. Oh, who do you think could play Robin? We didn't see her face in this, do we? There's no shot of her face at all. I haven't seen a reflection. She can be played by any actress.
Yeah. Trying to think. Sandra Bullock.
I could think Emily Blunt.
Yeah, maybe.
I just feel because she's done that kind of survival sort of, like in A Quiet Place, that's kind of survival-ish. So I think she would be good at that. There's so many good actresses who could do this, really.
A female version of Matt Damon.
It's lonely, yes. An actress that, because lots of money is spent rescuing Matt Damon from all these places he ends up. Yeah. So there must be an equivalent, an actress who films have spent an inordinate amount of money trying to rescue it. This is perfect for them.
Yeah.
But also one who really wants to get into the idea of just portraying some sort of utter loneliness of just having only yourself trying to survive.
And this is where I die, basically.
Oh, cool. What gets you? Does something get you?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. This is going to be good.
But you get so deep as well. It's very deep.
This is what's so realistic about the idea of that being in the sea, isn't it? So,
yeah, it's like an endless.
This is the dark. This is why the sea is scary. Why it's one of the scariest places on. We're happy to go into space for the most part, but oh my goodness, it's big.
Yeah.
But it's but the darkness and the utter anything could pop out of anywhere, especially when you've got a giant light source drawing things in. Oh, it's going to get irritating. Okay.
It is.
As you die, being killed by this fish, I think we've got a good film.
Yep.
I would go see it, especially if I was credited.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. If you were credited, I would watch it.
Yeah, thank you. I'd watch it if you were credited. I like the idea of this film. I think it could be great. I think it'd be a beautiful film. This moment isn't very beautiful, but it would be a beautiful to watch. Cinematography wise, I'd rewatch it over and over. And I like the idea that the main character Robin finds some sort of closure. And there we go. I think
you don't.
Dear.
And
the red usually means that's cool. Smash glass. The fish shot you twice. It seemed.
He died and lost some belongings.
Because that happens too. Okay. Thank you, Matodi. I guess the film is just called Subnautica.
Yeah. That would be an amazing name for her.
It's a good name, I think. Subnautica. Bubbles rise as the text comes onto that kind of thing.
In a galaxy far, far away.
That's been done. That's plagiarism. We did not say that. That was. And if you did not hear that, we can't say that. I don't think.
On a planet far, far away.
Indeed. So thank you. Just Semitodi. Until next time.
Until next time.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. And yeah, if you work for a major film studio, please make this film. But do it properly. Take some time. Think about it. Games can be really good films, and I think Subnautica can be a really good film. Say goodbye, Matodi.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Have a good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. Goodbye.